Ladies and gentlemen, my comparison series between the 2600 and 5200 and the 5200 and the 7800 was so wildly popular, I'm going to continue the trend, and in a startling moment of a lack of creativity, I'm going to compare one arcade game to the 8-bit systems, maybe even throw in an occasional Nintendo game at some point, who knows. But this week, for the inaugural edition, we're going to look at Pac Man. We're going to look at the Pac Man arcade game. We're going to look at the 2600 game. We're going to look at the 5200 game. Then we're going to look at the 7800 game. Those 4 games. And when we're done looking at all 4 of them, we're going to decide which one came out on top as being closest to the arcade original. Let's do it. Here is the arcade ROM of Pac Man being played on an arcade 1-up system. This game, one of the big selling points of this game, and one of the reasons it was such a huge hit, is it was the first game that attracted female consumers. Largely, up until this point, video games were considered a male pastime. It's not that way anymore. Right now, you can watch the ladies whooping some serious ass on Call of Duty if you're into streaming your video games. Alright, I outsmarted myself. But yeah, as I've mentioned before, this game sounds and looks a lot like a slot machine. If you ever watch slot machines being played, especially ones back in the days with the bells and the whistles, it looks and feels, got you, a lot like a slot machine. And really, they were writing the rules at this point. There was no formula. They were figuring out how to do this. And this game also has cutscenes, which is the first of my recollection to have cutscenes. So it was groundbreaking in its day. All right, let's look at the 2600 version of this game. Here is the 2600 version of Pac Man being played on my Atari 2600 Plus through HDMI to a modern HD television. Let's take a look. Alright, this game is so legendarily bad that it's often been credited as one of the reasons the United States experienced a game crash in 82 and 83. And we wouldn't look at how bad these controls are. It is so slippery. The sounds are horrible. It doesn't sound like Pac Man. Is this how Pac Man sounds? He doesn't face the direction that he's going unless it's left or right. The ghosts are flickering, and the reason they're flickering so bad is, in actuality, there's only one ghost on the screen at a time. Come on, see, I can't even get him to go up. Got you. All right. No sideshows. The maze is completely wrong. Hey, I got all 4 ghosts. Yeah. The maze is completely wrong. Super simple. And, yeah, Pac-Man doesn't even look like Pac-Man. How come he got an eyeball? Oh, all right. Well, come on, go up. There we go. Oh, yes, this is Pac Man for the 2600. So here is Pac Man for the Atari 5200. This is being played through my Atari 5200 through a regular antenna hookup to an HD TV. So the signal isn't going to be great, but it is serviceable. So right off the top, you can see that a lot more care and thought and consideration was put into this version of Pac Man. You have the right opening sound, the colors are right. The maze, though it's horizontal instead of vertical, is exactly the same. And in case you're wondering, I did the Googling and there's the same number of dots. Same number of dots in this maze as there is the arcade maze. I was wondering about that. This one has sideshows. It's got the whistle in the background. The colors are mostly right. The ghosts are kind of pastel. But hey, we'll take it over what we just came from. We will definitely take it. I have a lot of memories playing this game back in the 80s. And they mostly got it right. It's probably the best version of Pac Man for its generation. Yeah, let's get some ghosts. All right, now we'll take a look at the Atari 7800 version of Pac Man. This is the Atari 7800 version of Pac Man. This is the double feature. Atari just put this out last year as part of a high score set. And if you bought the entire set as the high score set instead of individual cartridges, your cartridge is specially colored. Look at that. That is awesome. This is being played on my Atari 2600 Plus through HDMI to a high-def TV. And already you can see the bump in quality above the 7800. Now this game was just released last year by Atari through official licensing and packaging, manufacturing. This was only available prior to on a site called Atari Age, where people used to program their home games and put links to them so you could play them on your 2600. And so this was never released back in the day. The maze has the correct orientation. The sounds are phenomenal. This, I'll dare tell you, is even better than the Nintendo Entertainment System Edition, which was also a great version of Pac Man, even if Pac Man is a bit oversized and your little blocks at the top are the same size instead of the inner ones being elongated. But I think this one is even better than that one. The 7800 was, I'm going to miss him, trying to compete against the NES. When the NES came out and started making inroads in the United States, Atari had like 600,000 of these bad boys sitting on a shelf in a warehouse and said, hey, video games are back. But it wasn't that easy for them. And actually, Nintendo, had approached Atari to distribute the NES in North America. It would be the Atari Entertainment System. But their ego was a little bit too big, and they didn't want to do it. And they wanted to come out with their own. So this is it. That's all the 8-bit home versions of Pac Man compared to the arcade game. Let's wrap this up. So there we have it, boys. The original versus the Atari versions. There was the expected generational leap between the 2600, the 5200, and the 7800. And it really is a good time capsule of what the home gaming experience was like through the decade of the 80s. And the 7800, which of course, to be fair, was published just last year. 7800 clearly came out on top. It's easy to see why the 5200 sold systems, because that version of Pac Man is great. And it's easy to see why the 2600 did disappoint. So what are your thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts below. Subscribe and share this video everywhere. And I'll see you next time on Adventures with Pappa J.